Hi CAbi girls, Shawn Peck here, your personal CAbi stylist. Today I'm going to show you the many different things we can do with the multi-topper from the Fall 2013 collection. Now what I'm wearing as a base is our one shoulder tee and our Tech Crop new activewear pant, just so that we have a black base underneath. So let's start. There's several ways. The first thing, and the simplest thing to do, is just to put it over your head like a regular top. Now you do have the option of using the thumb holes should you choose to do so. Now, a couple different things I like to do with it styled this way. One, we can pull our front ends out. I like to kind of give it a little bit of a waist, and mind you, I'm not in front of a mirror right now, so it might look a little bit rough, but you're going to get the idea. And then tie it up on the back side. So then you just have a little bit of interest on the back side. It's nice and sleek and a little bit more formal in the front. Layer this with a great statement necklace or some looser necklaces. Looks very polished and pulled together. Now another thing you can do is take your longer sides in the back. And what I do here is, again, I give it a little bit of a waist. I just pull it around, just kind of the low of your back, right above your derriere. And then I pull it around to the front. I like to then tie it off to the side a little bit, and then you have this kind of element of a wrap top. Now if you have another top underneath, you're going to see that layering effect on the back. You don't have to, you could just do a bra or cami, but should you choose to do that, this is another fun look. Third way here would be to simply pop the front panel over your head like so, and then you have this little shrug duster type thing. And when you do so, look at the fun little key, well, large key opening in the back there. Now again, the same thing we can do here that we did just a moment ago, which is to take our long tails, pull it around the front, tie it off to the side. Then, depending on the top that you do have underneath, you're showcasing just a little bit of the color, but making a little bit more dramatic with the topper this way. Now another thing I'm going to show you is if we were to start in our original position, I'm going to take the arms out and I'm just going to turn it around this way. So now I have the longer part of the multi-topper at the front. Then if we pull the front panel over our head again, we have the same idea that we did just a moment ago, but it's now shorter in the back and a little bit longer in the front. So this might work better if you have a more petite stature, like myself. So I like to wear it this way. You again can, now you have these tiny little ties on the side, can bring that around to the front, okay? And another thing I like to do when I bring this tie around is maybe to secure it with a fun brooch or pin. Carol Anderson pin would be great to put here. So let's move on to a couple other ways that you can wear this. I'm going to turn it back to our original position. But this time I'm just going to put my arm through one end, through one armhole, and I'm going to bring my arm up around this way. So now you have a one shoulder type, drapey top, poncho type idea. So we have one arm in the multi-topper and one arm out. There's another thing that you can do. I don't even know what number we're on. You can take your two back ends and also bring it around and wrap it. Now I could do it off to my right side, like so, or I could pull it around and do it off to the left side. And it gives just a little bit of a longer angle this way. So two different looks. Now here's something that's a little interesting, a little tricky. I'm going to take the arm that is hanging here on the side, and I'm going to bring my long tail on this side. I'm going to bring it across my body, over my shoulder, and then I'm actually going to tie it kind of up here at top. I won't take the time to do a full knot. but I can do a knot like that so that you have a bit of a crossover. Okay. But we can also do this under the arm. So if I bring this completely over, and I like this a little bit better because it's more of a fitted look. You have just a little bit of tail here. You tie this into a knot, and then you get a little bit more like this. So a nice, long, lean look to the multi-topper. And next, I'm going to take my arm out of this entirely. I'm just going to throw it underneath. So you let the arm just hang to the front. No one's going to know it's an arm piece to the garment. And I'm going to take the sleeve on the right and the sleeve on the left. I'm going to bring this around the back side of my body and over to my shoulder where it meets this side and tie it into a little knot or a little bow. You know, some people like bows, some people don't. And get the idea of having a little tie at the top of your shoulder. Okay? Is this piece amazing or what? Now let's just say you're leaving the gym. Maybe you have your tech crops on, maybe you have some tights on, who knows, you could have your boot cut pants on as well. And you have your workout top on the top. You can just pop this baby over your waist. Take the arms and tie it to the front. Now again, you can do anything in the front if you want. I always like to do it off to the side. Personal preference. You can pop a pin there if you want. So this can be going from the gym. It could be for going out as well. Maybe rock it with a pair of knee-high boots. And you can see it's a little bit longer in the back, a little bit shorter in the front. Now the other thing I like to do with this as a skirt is just to put it sideways. Then you get this kind of drape to the front and a little bit of drape to the back. It just gives it a different vibe, a little more interest. Now if we bring it back to the front, I'm going to take these tails on the side again. Actually, I'm going to take the tails on the front, like so, and I'm just going to pull them back around the back side and just tuck it into the waistband. So this is not going to be so loose on you that it falls off, but doing something like this, you have a high-low now, which is very in right now, very fashion forward, but gives it a different skirt feeling as well. So one more thing that you can do with the multi-topper in skirt form, I have it here with the shorter length in the front and the longer in the back. What I'm going to do is just literally wrap it around my body. So this is kind of the idea of taking a long scarf or a beach cover-up that you might do and throw it over the top of what you have. I personally love doing this with a skinny jean or a tight or maybe a ponte legging and just having it off to the side. This also looks great with a pencil skirt because your pencil skirt's going to stop at the knee, and then you have the rest of the garment is just taking on the length and the flowiness of the outfit. So feel free to experiment with what you actually put this over when you're wearing it this way. And then while we've got it down here, another fun thing, and all I'm doing is bringing it up under my arms. I'm going to tie this around the back, and then it's almost like you have this, it's like a vest, but not. So again, you have the visual interest with the shorter length over the long. You could do this over a turtleneck, you can do it over a button-down shirt, you could do it over a tank top, tee, does not really matter. And you can leave it open, or again, you could bring it to the front, belt it, pin it, wrap it off to the side if you want, pin it over here. So just gives you some added options. There you have it. So right now I have the multi-topper on as a skirt, and I have the longer part of the multi-topper in the front. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ends, and this is for someone who just likes that kind of drippy, drapey kind of idea, and I'm just going to tuck those into the front of my waistband. So then you get, and it's still long enough in the back so you're not exposing too much, but you know, just a drapey silhouette. And the one thing I failed to mention before, I'm turning this back around so that the shorter length is in the front. Now I tied it earlier like so, but what you can also do is tie it in the back. I'm a big fan of tying things in the back. I just think it's nice to give a little interest on the back side. I always like to tell my clients that it's nice to give people a nice view as you're exiting the room, as well as when you're entering the room. And then lastly, depending on your shape and your waistline, you might even be able to pull that around the back side. It was a little bit higher, and tie it in the front or secure it with a little pin. So it just gives you a little bit more interest when you do that. A couple more things while we have the multi-topper over your waist. I'm going to pull it up just over my bust. And depending on your bust line, you know, if you're real busty, some of these things may not work for you. But if you have a little less going on top, some of these are going to be super flattering on you. So I'm going to bring my arms around here to the front. I'm just going to cross it right over the top. Do a little bit of a knot. So this then becomes just a great bathing suit cover-up. You could do this with a nice with shorts underneath, pants, or a skirt. You might also just want to bring it up behind your neck. Tie it up. I'm just going to do it loosely right now. And certainly, if I didn't have this one shoulder tee underneath, it would be a little bit more streamlined over the top. But something like so. If you want more shape through your bodice, what I would do, I like to just bring the sides in. I'm turning this to the outside. I would bring it around like that so you have this nice drapey front. And then, you know, put a great pin. All of a sudden this now becomes something a little bit more formal, a little dressier. And then I'm going to undo my arms, but now I'm going to twist it in the front and do it around the back side. So then it looks even more like a dress or topper. And then you can do the same thing. You can bring that around for a pin, or maybe you do this and you have a nice big, wide, chunky belt that you want to do over the top. So just makes it real fun. This then you can wear as a dress when you do it this way. And if you want, you know, pull it over to the side. Give it a little bit more interest. Makes it very sexy, showing a little bit of leg there, but you can see how it goes both ways. Another thing I'm going to do is bring my arms around the back side. And then you can do two things here. You can bring this around your waist. Again, do a pin or something to secure it. Or around your bust line, doing it more Empire style, which also works well. And again, imagine this with a great necklace. It's almost more like it has a scarf feel to it when you do this. Okay, so now I'm going to slip it off. Another thing I like to do with this piece, and I've taken the tag out of mine, by the way. I would recommend taking your tag out so that when you're doing all these different things, it does not show. I'm a real fan of ponchos, but if you just take your arms, tie this up like so, and you can just do it very simply like that, and you can see that the shorter layer is hanging over the longer layer, so it gives it some visual interest. You know, you can do this as loose or as high as you want, or maybe you want it off to the side a little bit. You can do it like that. When you take your multi-topper and fold it up like a scarf, it becomes just that. This is where this becomes such an amazing travel piece. And I did that very roughly, but you can elongate it and roll it and wrap it in a way that makes it a little bit more drapey. You can almost just put this on in any way you want. And then I'm just taking the arm here and I'm tucking it back around the back side. So then I get something that's completely different feeling. Who would know that's a top? Amazing. And lastly, I'm going to put it on one more time. I know there's about 4 other things that I can do with this, and I'm just forgetting right now. And in fact, I didn't even need to put the arms through. I meant to just put this on as a poncho. So, just poncho-like. If you want, you can tie this up almost like a sweater going on over your body. Okay, knot it off to the side if you want. And then if you have a great top underneath that you want to showcase, I like to just pull, I take the bottom, pull it up to the neckline, create kind of a drapey interest here, and then pin it like that. So ladies, what I encourage you to do is just play with this piece. There are, I mean, I said 4. I think there's 10 other things that I've done with this, and I just can't remember them all right now. But taking a piece like this, taking a half hour in your closet, seeing what works for your body, it's the piece that you're gonna covet for a lifetime. You're gonna want it in more colors, and maybe if we're lucky we'll see it in other colors. But I hope this has been helpful to show you all the many different things that you can do with it. So go forth, wear it a lot, and have a great fall.
I stick out my thumb and I trudge down the highway. Someday someone must be going my